Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who throws a mean tea kettle. It's David Cross.
Ooh, especially when it's boiling. Double damage.
And Patrick Wilson just plasters poor Rose Byrne with a tea kettle in this film. It's almost as good as the chair throw in *Malignant*, and it made me want to go back through all of James Wan's films to look at throwing scenes in his movies.
Yeah, I had the same thought about the chair from *Malignant*. Like, how much damage do you actually think that did? Because it knocked her flat. Like, broken bones, bruised for a week.
Yeah, definitely concussed.
Yeah, oof. It was a brutal scene, and it's something I hadn't seen previously. And I'm always tickled when I see something new like that. You would think that like someone had tossed a tea kettle at someone in other movies, but no, that's the first time I saw it.
Plastered. And I love evil cardiganed Patrick Wilson in this movie. Like, I love Josh Lambert in this film. He's full on just losing teeth. He's full on like The Shining, Danny, or not Danny, yeah, he's just Jack. But he's wearing cardigans. He's just wearing comfy sweaters and going insane because a serial killer is inside of his body.
Yeah. That's a question I have for you about this film. How many characters does he play? Because I am confused on whether two ghosts inhabit his body or not. We definitely know it's Parker, the serial killer, but is it also Parker's mother at some point?
This is insane, but does Parker have dissociative identity disorder? And he's inside of Josh, but he's very unstable. So Parker is just essentially, Josh just has a really messed up demon inside of him. And he's just, because Parker is being talked to. But I also think his mom could exist in a further, and he could be communicating with her as well, because he was the vessel who did the killing.
That was my assumption. I assumed that Parker's mother was communicating with him, forcing him to do all the killings in the past, and then still talking to him when he got out of the further and into Josh's body.
I agree. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't like a timeshare in Josh.
Yeah, because the thing that threw me off was the very end of the movie. There's like a scene of the mother being like ripped into the further, and that's why I was confused on who was jumping in and out of the body at any given point. Or it could just be vibes. Like with films, they do vibe scenes where like, this isn't literal. This is just how it feels. Like, case in point, what is it, the final Star Wars when oh my god, I forgot his
Rise
name.
of the Skywalker. Is that what you're saying?
Right, when Kylo Ren talks to his dad, who's clearly dead and not there, so he's just really having a conversation with himself. But that's conversation needed to happen for the narrative.
And I like what you said about this movie just being vibes, because this movie is basically just vibes, is it not?
It is.
I called it a dreadnought of pure horror awesomeness in my review in 2013.
Wow.
And it's just, it feels like it's a roller coaster on top of a volcano inside of a fun house. And, James Wan didn't want to have the kind of same plot from the first one. So he switched it to more of a family thriller in this one. So he's like, the first one's a haunted house movie. This one is a domestic thriller with a supernatural twist. But I mean, this movie's bonkers. And when I left the theater in 2013, I was like shaking. Like I was really stressed out, David. It shook me. Like, I remember walking to the car just feeling very nervous. And I that's why I love this movie so much, and kind of why I wanted to revisit this with you, because like Lin Shaye takes over in 4 and 5. Like, I love the trajectory of this franchise, but this second Insidious film might be the most stressed out I've ever been watching a movie in a theater.
Yeah, I totally see that. So my general take on this movie, I didn't see, let's take a step back. I didn't see this movie until maybe 9 months ago. Like, I sat down and did a complete rewatch of all of the Insidious movies. Not rewatch, just first time watch. And so what had happened is that I did this for the Conjuring universe. I'd watched all the Conjuring universe, and I was like, hey, I like this. Let's check out the Insidious universe. And I did all of the Insidious universe. And so I didn't see it in the theater, but my first time seeing this particular movie, I saw it back to back with the first movie. and I had an extensive like kind of freak out like you did. So I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what's happening? And it's really that second half of the movie where everything gets ratcheted up to like unbelievable levels. Because in the first half, it's like, it's a little slow for me, but it works in retrospect once you understand what is happening in the film. So what's the scene when you first understand what's happening for me is when you see Josh for the first time in the further next to the piano. And it's a flash scene. You're like, what the hell is this? Right. And from there, it kicks up and really hits a crescendo when Joss is chasing everyone into the basement because it's intercutting between multiple different things. While I'm on this like exciting rant, I guess, one of the things that I believe makes this movie really interesting from a filmmaking standpoint is like this feels like the film where James Wan figured out how to like make really amazing scenes and use the camera to his advantage. And he utilized that in the second half of the film. So generally, like I felt the same way you did, just like what is happening. I was kind of blown away.
You know what's crazy? In my brain, because I probably hadn't watched this movie in 6-7 years when we decided to do this again. I'm telling you, David, in my head, I thought that when Tucker and Specs and Barbara Hershey were going through the kind of insane house with the dead women in the pews and the little kid who's like, if she knows your heel, she'll make me kill you. I could have sworn they were in like a little bit of like a roller coaster going through it. That's how I see this movie in my head. Like, you know, when you sit in those little things and it kind of, they spin you around to like look at stuff. Like I felt like they were on a Universal ride going through all that. And that's what I built. And I'm not lying. I built that up in my head thinking that like it was a weird scene where they were traveling through it. That was the narrative in my head, David. Like I really didn't remember the found footage or like the camera work, you know, that kind of like, oh, terrible camera work and all that kind of stuff. I in my head, I envision this movie being like a funhouse ride.
It is.
It's crazy.
You get most of that from the final reel when they're jumping in and out of the further. And you have Lin Shaye showing up. You're like, where did she come from?
Yeah, why now?
Why now?
Hey, welcome back.
So the other thing I thought about when I saw this film that I wanted to chat with you about is how did they script this? So I'm a writer. I think a lot about how stories interact with other things and how you would even write a sequel to something. And my immediate thought was, this is clever to write the ending to be associated with the first movie, right?
Yeah.
And so I actually went out there. I was like, I don't know if I could do this. And so I went out there to just figure out, did Lin-Wanel, the scriptwriter, you know, and Specs, did he have this idea in the first film? And this was really just a trilogy, like a sequel that he did right away. And it turns out they didn't. They didn't know what they were going to do for the second movie. They were just like, well, it was popular, made a bunch of money. Okay, we're going to figure this out. And they went through a bunch of different stuff. And like they did a prequel, like treatment or a concept that turned into the first 15 minutes of the movie. But really what blew my mind is like, oh, you're interacting with the original story in a way that I would not have thought of.
That's why they're so successful. And I also think James Wan, he still had a really bad taste in his mouth from the Saw sequels. And he put, the flack I got for Saw is why I wanted to direct Insidious 2. I didn't direct any of the Saw sequels, but people thought I did. When Insidious 2 came along, I said, if anyone's going to F up my franchise, it might as well be me.
I didn't see that quote.
And he's like, the Saw sequels went in a direction I wouldn't have gone with. With Insidious 2, I wanted to push a potential franchise in the direction I thought it should go in. And so, and he also, too, he said, making a scary PG-13 movie is a badge of honor. We wanted people to take us seriously outside of these gory films we got pigeonholed for. So The Conjuring, Insidious, Conjuring 2 are James Wan's direct like responses to his being the Saw guy. And then, you know, I think with this one, they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit. They had to split the story up because it was 2 years later and the kids got huge. Every time you see Ty Simpkins in this movie, James Wan said they had to lean him over chairs. The little brother's barely in the film because he got huge in between the 2 to 3 years of making the movie. And so that's why they had to do the 10 minutes in the beginning. You know, when Josh is hypnotized, that's why they had to bring more Tucker and Specs. That's why they didn't have to involve the kids being taken over. And this was more about Josh being taken over. And so, yeah, and then like, it's three different storylines as well. Like they're trying to find what there's Lynn Shay Coulter and Steve Coulter, who I love Steve Coulter in this movie, by the way, as Carl. It's Carl, it's Elise, and it's Josh. But then you have Renee Rose Byrne and her kids. But then you have Tucker and Specs. Then you have Barbara Hershey. You have three different storylines rolling all over the place. But I think out of necessity, tying it back in with the original, and it's quite ingenious seeing that, like, and how the further works. Like, how does the further work? And also, if time can be a factor, we can go back and look at Elise back in the day, because Elise was killed in the first one. So it allows her to come back. So I think they just, it's such a smart idea, because first and foremost, in the first one, if you're going to be like, hey, this thing stalked Josh when he was younger, they brought it back. Like they're like, this is what got him. And that's the thing that remembered him when he was back in the further, but he didn't remember it. And it's quite tight, but I guarantee Juan and Juanel just sat there thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And that's why it took 2 years for this movie to go. I mean, these movies only shoot in 25 days. So
I saw that and I was like, what? But then I really started thinking about it. I was like, oh, it's mostly indoors. It's a mostly modern movie, so the set doesn't have to be terrible.
Or they know the drill.
They know, yeah, exactly. They've done it. And I was like, I guess it kind of makes sense, especially if you're like Blumhouse and you're rolling the dice on like $8 million to make 50. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was like 25-day shoot makes total sense.
I mean, listen, this one pulled in 162 million worldwide, which is just gigantic. And wow. And the thing is, though, is that I love your question about story and how they tie it back into it. But I think it's just a smart way to move on, because you don't want to do 2 years later. Like, I think the way that the first one ended, you're like, this is horrible. But then I think it's really smart to be like, who did this? So I think, they left it open-ended at the end of Insidious. So that she's dead, but that Josh did it while possessed. So that could tie into an immediate sequel. So they did some work for it, and then they left it open, and then they let it go, because it still could be a complete tale. So I think they didn't lock the door on themselves to come back into the further. They cracked the red door. So I think it was a little easier for them to enter, to like explain why. And since the kids got so big, you can't have the kids in it a lot. So I think it's just smart. I think they handled it really intelligently, how they did it. And it stressed me out just wildly, Dave. Like, I don't know. Poor Rose Byrne. She gets like thrown on chairs. She gets hit with tea kettles. Just when she destroys that chair, it's pretty hilarious. Because
she's so small.
Yeah. and but if you watch this movie again, just watch how Ty Simpkins and his brother are hunched down every scene, or they're in bed. Like, because they just legitimately, like, these kids got huge. So I don't know. It makes me laugh, but also I like Tucker and Specs. I really like the addition of Carl, like Steve Coulter and his dice. Like, in the first one, you have the gas mask seance. Like, this one, he has his dice. And I think his warmth adds a lot. Like, this is a franchise of really warm characters. And you sent me a great article where Lynn Shay talked about that. And they introduced really likable characters into this one, and a villain that's scary, really scary. And it's also silly. So it's just I love this movie.
Yeah.
David.
So this movie is campy.
Yeah.
And so when I went and reviewed, I like to go read reviews for the contemporaneous time. This didn't get great reviews. Like, it was mostly negative. There were some bigger critics that did give it a like 3.5, 4 out of 5, but the majority of them are like, this is not great. And here's the thing, though. It's a campy movie, and if you don't understand it's camp and you're not a fan of camp, you're not going to like this film. And I put even more thought into it, and I was like, you know what happened? James Wan put out The Conjuring.
Yeah.
A serious, legit movie. Like it's
a legit film. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a prestige.
Yeah, exactly. It's a prestige movie. And then he put this out, and they're like, oh, but this isn't prestige. You know what I mean? They're like treating it like it's supposed to be a top tier, serious horror movie. And it's a goofy ghost story, more akin to like R.L. Stine, frankly. And that's what I was looking for.
and you are absolutely right. You got to look at this movie in context. And a lot of people didn't. Like they're like, oh, it's just weird. And it's no, it's like this is an incredibly campy film. And I mean, remember Malignant when the sisters like, and that's when I learned that you were adopted. And then the Pixies cuts in and with the
Yep.
close up of her, like people didn't get that was funny. Like people are like, that scene's so stupid. It's like, no, like James Wan's tongue is so firmly in his cheek when he's making this that that's what this film is. And that's why I said it's a roller coaster on top of a fun house inside of a Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights inside a volcano, another volcano. Like it's just a silly, propulsive, cheeky movie. And you know what? As a sequel, it does enough to expand the lore. It ties up some loose ends from the first film because that thing is still after him. Like that thing, just because he forgot about Parker doesn't mean that Parker's not there coming for him. And it, it's just an ingenious way to prove your existence and why you should have been made. Like this isn't like reactive horror sequels where it's made, a good one's made and like a year later we need another one, we need another one, we need another one, and then you just drive it into oblivion. I think with this franchise, and also too, like when you look at the box office, Insidious was released in 2011. Insidious Chapter 2 was 2013. Insidious Chapter 3 was 2015. The Last Key was 2018, and The Red Door was 2023. This has never been a we need one tomorrow franchise, and that's why I think it's like, and that's why I think like Insidious, the like Red Door became the highest grossing fifth entry ever, because it's not a it's accessible because it's PG-13, but it's not reactive, and I think they give it time and they care about it. And that's why I think it's still kicking around doing well and they want another one.
And everyone's getting better
Yeah.
because The Red Door is personally, I think it's like one of the top best movies in the series. It's like one of the top two. I don't know if it's better than the first one, but it, like, my gut says it is, but we could have that discussion when we get to the fifth get to that fifth movie.
I think the only thing that's missing about the fifth film is, it's Patrick Wilson's first directorial like feature debut. So it does miss a little bit of the propulsiveness of James Wan, who he's such an auteur, you can feel his camera. Like when you watch a James Wan movie, it's a James Wan movie. So I think even though 3 and 4 were directed by other people, the flatness of 5 took me a little bit to get used to. But once that train started rolling, man, and then that final line, I was a wreck. Like I adore that film. And it's smart. Like these two keep getting brainwashed, David. Like these two like remember in Men in Black, you're like, don't do that too many times to people. It'll really mess them up. Like these two are messed up because that's not good what's happening to their memories. So I like that the Red Door is kind of like, hey, you've had a lot and this is messing with you. Like once again, this franchise has a reason to exist. In 3 and 4, Lin Shaye is the star. A woman in her 70s is the star of horror films that make $172 million worldwide. It's a unicorn franchise. And yeah, I do think it's kind of a bummer that this one, I mean, it made 162 million, which is incredible. And it opened with 40 million. So this is a franchise I have, and the budget is 5 million.
That's higher than I thought it was.
It's insane. And so, yeah, I just think that, this film, we can talk more about the plot and get into it, but it's just done well and it's silly. I keep saying that, but I don't know. Like you can just see Patrick Wilson winking at the camera. You can feel Tucker and Specs making their dumb jokes. Like it's like, I don't know. I love this movie. I keep saying that. I don't care. This isn't great podcasting, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. So I wanted to go back to Lin Shaye and Elise. So in the first episode, we covered it. We talked a little bit about like, did Juan and Wanell make the right choice killing Elise? And then we've read an article about that for the second movie, like they're just discuss like how, like, because they kind of had an idea of like, did they want to kill Elise? Like the original script said yes, but like when it came down to it, they weren't actually sure, and they decided to go move forward with it and kill her in the first one, knowing that she could come back as a ghost in the second one. We had last our podcast, I believe I argued that I think they made a mistake because it was difficult to would be difficult and odd to get her into the sequel. And I was also only looking at that movie as like an artifact, like that one single film. Now, when I consider that question with two of them, I think they were correct in killing her. And the the thoughts here, my thoughts here are that one, there's no real death in the first movie, right? You needed her death to emphasize that these characters were in danger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that actually has carried through to the second film, because no other main character dies, right? It's she's the only one. Like Carl doesn't die, the mother doesn't die, but what you just so that really emphasizes like, hey, these characters are still in danger. So I think I'm going to retract that and say I think it was a right decision.
And then it's ingenious to take them back for prequels because Elise is such a great character, and she has got to be the nicest, most like altruistic, just badass of this century. I know that sounds like hyperbole, but this is a woman who, she's not doing this for money. She's not doing this to scam anybody. She's just a person who is putting herself in extreme danger to help. And it's such a refreshing character. Like, and it proves that you can have that in a movie. You don't need cynics. You don't need, if we look at the Frighteners, he's a con man. When you look at most exorcists in movies or demonologists, they're not like Elise. And so, yeah, by bringing her back in that world, having her help, like coming at the end of it, because she understands the further. She's been dealing with it for years. And like, the prequel, the opening 10 minutes. Well, what do you think about the original actress? She, I guess in trailers, they use her voice, but then they later redubbed it with Lin Shaye's voice. How did you feel about that?
I could tell, first off, and I was like, oh, because it's a weird. I'm generally maybe not great with it. If you're an actor, like you want your voice in there, because it led to some odd camera work or set design or staging. There it is, staging, because like she was always in the background saying something, or like her head was turned so you couldn't see her lips, and I was like, this is very strange.
Yeah. Do you think they did test screenings and people were like, who is that?
I mean, there has to be a reason why they did it. I assume so.
Because 3 years went by between the two.
Yeah, and it's not like that actress was an unknown actress at the time. She was in one of Ty West's movies, I believe.
Oh no, that's the other one. So the Jocelyn, she's one in House of the Devil. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah. Jocelyn is young Barbara Hershey. Jocelyn Donahue, she's young Lorraine. She's in House of the Devil, and she's also in Last Stop in Union County, which is incredible, like a really good movie. The lady who played her was Lindsay Seim, Seim.
Yeah,
as young Elise.
So generally, I mean, I don't love it, honestly, but it's not like it took me out of the film entirely.
It had to have been test screenings, right?
Yeah. What? This doesn't sound like Elise. Who is this woman?
Like 3 years went by. That's a lot of time in our world for a sequel. So they're like, who is this person? Like, because you're basically showing a supporting character from Insidious going back in time. Like, I think they needed that, which I didn't need it, but it had to have been a test screen. I couldn't find anything about that. But yeah, it had to have been testing where people are like, who is this person? Why am I watching it? I thought this was Insidious.
What is this? This is who the series should be about.
Well,
I'm only quasi joking because, from just like a content creation perspective, it's much easier to have one person who solves many, many mysteries than having the same thing happen to a family over and over again. Yeah,
I mean, that's a great writing as well. You have like just the 3 really likable characters, like Scooby Gang, going around and solving mysteries. Because I mean, you can't watch 5 Insidious films of the Lamberts just getting put through it. 3 is enough. Like by the end of Insidious, The Red Door, you're like, just leave them alone. I think I was watching it with Megan. I was like, come on, guys, just like let this family chill. Like, just let them have it. Stop letting them do that, because it's taking their toll on them. But I mean, I could do with more Insidious prequels with Lin Shaye and Tucker and Specs. Shoot him in 25 days. Who cares?
Yeah, sequels or proteges, prequels, whatever. They're gonna make another one. It's been announced, right?
Yeah.
And so the question is, I was like, what is this 6th one gonna be about? And immediately I was like, well, maybe Josh and everyone actually become the ghost hunters.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. It's like, it's kind of fun. Like all these things have happened to them over and over and over. It's like, well, now they're experts at it.
Yeah, and they keep surviving.
Yeah.
I kind of want them just to move to Aruba and like just chill.
Are you talking
Like,
about a Jaws sequel?
like just listen, let Renee chill. Like let this poor lady has been put through it, and then she, we'll talk about it with the fifth one, but let her play her piano, like, let her play her music, and just relax. Just don't hit her with tea kettles. Don't throw her on chairs. Don't toss her into rooms. Like, her legs are strong because she has to run up the stairs all the time to get her baby. But it's just let her be. That's all I'm saying, David. Just let Renee relax.
Yeah, she's really looking forward to it. So I had a couple of questions for you for this. So do you how do I put this? In your opinion, how did like serious like really ingrained horror fans react to this movie?
Well, this is a weird one because if you look at this is 2013, so we're not quite at The Witch yet. We're not quite at the turning point of It Follows, and I think The Conjuring helped kick that off, but we're not quite there yet. So because The Witch was like what 2015, It Follows, like we're not there, but also it's not an R-rated Jason slasher. Like traditional 80s gore hounds, they want Terrifier, right? They want, and I'm talking about a very specific group. So they probably hated this movie because of the camp. But then I think people listen, this movie made 162 million worldwide. That's a big jump. So, I know how did they react? Let me look at horror movies in 2013
I mean,
box
I
office.
I don't think they reacted well. Like well, typically they never do unless it's a Terrifier. But my general take on this movie is that this was really for like a really like a hardened horror fan. Like the jump scares wouldn't get you. They didn't get me. Like
Oh,
actually
they
there was
got
one.
me.
There was one jump scare. But I am grizzled as you can get. But it is a really good movie for like people who are not fully into horror or just starting their horror journey. It sort of eases you in. It introduces you to really dread and creepiness. And that's probably why it's so successful because it wasn't like how I put it. It's not in a violent nature,
No.
right? Like you don't really need to have a deep understanding of horror to watch this movie. All you need to know is it's going to be creepy. It's going to be scary. Here are relatable things that are also scary. I think it's a really interesting part of this film, going on a sidebar here. Pianos creep, toys move and they make sounds, things slam. It's like the idea that the director is taking familiar things and making them scary. Familiar, relatable things are making them scary. So people who watch it have like an attachment and understanding of what it's actually happening.
This is a random question, but when we talk aficionados, are we saying people who understand the genre, or people who only watch 80s horror films, people who grew up with the nasty 2000 films that just, high tension and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and Eli Roth, like that crowd probably wouldn't enjoy this because there's no blood, there's no guts, there's no viscera. Women aren't really subjected to just, terrible things, except for Rose Byrne getting hit with a tea kettle. But yeah, I think this is a movie where this isn't who they're for. So I think those audiences weren't going to embrace it. Like for me, with the horror genre, I love all of it. Like I'll take everything. Give me the psychological, give me the fun, give me that. So, the Evil Dead crowd, I feel like the Evil Dead crowd should have a fun time with this. But I think people who went to watch this, maybe wanted Saw action. Maybe they wanted something more. But I think for the 12-year-olds who went and watched this blew their mind. Like this was meant for this. I don't think this was meant for horror aficionados, right? I think this is just meant for people to go enjoy themselves. This is like once again, this is like a theme park of a horror movie. This isn't a mountain climb of a horror movie like Martyrs. This isn't like a familiar comfy couch like the Friday the 13th franchise. This is just a theme park ride. So yeah, I mean, I think the people who didn't like The Witch when it came out a couple years later probably didn't like this movie.
I very much see this as a sort of this franchise as a gateway into, I'm going to say, more horrific horror, if that makes sense. Because there are disturbing things in this movie, these films, don't get me wrong, but there's not a lot of on-screen death, really. And so it has a wider audience is likely why it did so well. And my remembrance of this is that it did not do very well with like the hardcore horror fans, likely because of everything you just talked about. That's
I mean,
also,
oh, sorry, go for it.
well, it not appealing explicitly to them is probably also why it's seen so much success, right? Sometimes I think about this idea of like, oh, a PG-13 horror movie comes out. Oh, it's terrible. It's going to be terrible. We don't even want to go try it. I'm a believer that constraint improves creativity. And so when I see a PG-13 horror movie, it's particularly by someone who I know is a good director, like I actually get kind of excited because like they can't just splash blood on the screen, right? They had to come up with inventive ways to scare you. And this movie does achieve that.
I mean, I completely agree, and I think that's why Wan wanted to do this. I think he's like, I don't want to be the Saw guy. I want to be a guy who can do anything, and this franchise proved it. The Conjuring is much more of a traditional horror film. That's why it's a blockbuster, because it is a possession film about a family and a kid being possessed and two demon hunters going after it, and it's much more traditional. I'm not saying it wasn't well made. I mean, it's gorgeous. The Conjuring, the cinematography is gorgeous. John Leonetti, who also shot this, just nailed it. But it's much more accessible to everyone. It was rated R for just being scary. The Conjuring, these Insidious movies are much more niche. They're much more, I think they ask more of people just to like, hey, we're throwing Rose Byrne on a chair and it's just silly. Like, I think they're asking the audience to just have a good time with it. Like with Insidious, you got to roll with it. With Conjuring, you can just go watch it. Does that make sense? And so when you have to go watch a Friday the 13th movie, you know exactly what you're getting. You're just getting idiots getting murdered. And you and I have talked so much about it. But I think with this, you just got to get the tone, most importantly. So and you know what? When you make a movie like this, you can't expect giant box office. That's why I'm so impressed with how much money these movies make, because they really truly they are little niche, little cheeky things, aren't they? Like these aren't these are kind of minor miracles, I would say. The fact that they cost what 1.5 million and 5 million for the first two, and they pulled a combined what $240 million worldwide, $250 million worldwide. Like this is, but it also shows that there's people who don't want, who kind of actively fight back against the stock slasher film. I think it proves that people want to have fun with horror. And also too, like if you look at PG-13 genre, The Boogeyman, that movie made $82.3 million worldwide and it's PG-13. Like that's a big haul for a PG-13 horror film. So I think kids want to be scared. They want to go like, and also most importantly, this is remember how crazy the Friday the 13th movies get with just gratuitous nudity and violence and just
you're talking to the Friday the 13th expert on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. and that's not for everybody, but I think these films aren't for everybody, but you can just go enjoy them. You could go with a group, you could go with friends, and I think you could have a good time with it. So it's, a lot of people watch like those Friday the 13th movies. Who were they for?
Who are they for?
Like Nightmare on Elm Street, all those films. Who were they for?
Teenagers.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're like, because they get less scary and more ridiculous the longer they go on, and you stop really like having a thesis of like this movie's about X, Y, and Z, and it just becomes about this movie's about killing this character in XYZ way, and so it's about the kills themselves, the inventiveness of the kills.
So who's the Insidious franchise for?
This is a date night movie. So these are young kids, maybe high schoolers, people who you don't need a deep understanding of horror to go see it. It really, it's for kind of everyone without being super niche, right? It's a very like here's the thing, it's Poltergeist, right? If you go see Poltergeist,
with a sense of humor,
yeah, it's Poltergeist with a sense of humor. So that's who the audience for it. It's a more general audience than typical horror movies, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And listen, the total production budget for all 5 of these films so far is $42.5 million. The worldwide gross for all 5 is $741 million. This is a wildly profitable
It's going to hit $1
franchise.
billion. It's going to hit $1 billion.
Yeah,
Like, because if you think they're going to stop at 6, you are dead wrong. They're
dead
going to
wrong.
do something else. I don't know if it's going to have the same characters, but it's going to keep going.
And that's good though. Like that's and listen, Insidious the Red Door made $186 million worldwide. And the critics didn't really like it. I mean, critically speaking,
They're
Insidious the
wrong.
Red Door, it has a 39% Rotten Tomato score, 2.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and 5.5 on IMDb. And you know, Insidious Chapter 2 is a 6.6. That's high. So I guess cinephiles do like Insidious Chapter 2 because I mean 6.6 on IMDb is not bad for this film. But yeah, they like so I mean even if and it got 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd on Insidious 2. But so with 5, even though it didn't have any high scores, it still made 186 million worldwide and is the 5th entry of a film.
Yeah, and that one's awesome. And
Yeah,
I
it
have
is.
a lot to talk about when we get to that one.
Just enjoy these films. Like these are little treasures. I'm serious. They're not nasty. They're stress bombs. They're wildly stressful, but they just prove that when you have James Wan, Lee Wanell, like Rose Byrne and Patrick Wilson making money on the back end because they're not getting paid up front. When you have that, when you have, you know, Wan's rolling camera work and John Leonetti, I mean, he had been a cameraman for years and he went on to direct Annabelle. So I think you have this tight crew making this fun movie. And most importantly, it's not a cash grab because it has a $10 million budget. So it's not a cash grab. And it's James Wan wanting to prove, like, not only set his franchise in the right direction, but I think he also had a chip on his shoulder to prove to people that he can still be that PG-13 guy. So it's kind of Wan and Wanell's victory lap. And then but it's also just very silly and very crazy.
Yeah.
But I wish I could be a more articulate when it comes to how I'm talking about this film, but I really think it's a minor miracle of like a $5 million fun film.
So we've talked a lot about like how we reacted, how other people reacted, Lin Shaye, obviously. Is there anything you want to chat about, like the actual film itself, like moments in it? Because I have a question for you, if you're ready.
Well, I love the dice. I think the seance with the dice, like that's funny. I mean, like Patrick Wilson when he's standing there with his sulken eyes with Steve Coulter, and he's like, "What do your dice say?" Like that's
knife.
Yeah, knife. And you know, but that's silly the way that he pans in on knife, and I think that's another interesting way of telling a story, and it kind of sets up levels in the game of who, like, Elise is the best, Coulter is one of the best, but he's no Elise, so he has to deal with dice. You know, he's the dice guy.
There's a sly joke in here.
Oh, he's one of the best that you have.
No, he's like, you're the second best person she's ever worked with. And the implication is that he's the best. And you're like, come on, dude. Yeah. So my question's related to the dice. So they set the mythology in this film that mediums each have a unique way of interacting with the dead. Have you thought about how you would interact with the dead?
What do I love? I wish I could
Gambling.
I wish I could just chat with him. Hey, what's up, man? So like we do a seance. All right. So we have a table, we have a circle. I think for me, I don't like text messaging. I would just, let's see. How would I talk to demons? How did you think about yours? Can you tell
No,
me
I knew you were going to ask me this. And I'm like, well, I have one I came up with for a novel that I don't want to, it's a different character.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to share that, but I can come up with something. It would probably have to be related to cards because I play cards, I collect cards, like something associated with that, but not tarot because I don't know tarot even though I have a deck.
I would just do a pen and paper.
Pen and paper. You
Yeah.
just like write this down.
Just how goes it? Like, and then it goes good. Oh, sweet. Like that would be pen and paper.
I would. I guess I would just buy random sports packs and open them up and crack them and just toss them on the table. Like, what do I get from this? What are you telling me?
I would make them do accents, like, or just, you know, like from Adam Sandler movies. Like just that's a really good question because you have the gas mask, you have the dice, so everyone has their own thing. So
I have a really creepy one I just came up with.
you know, this is it. It would just be, hey demons, what's up?
What's up, demons? Okay,
And then like, because I'm a lit major and I used to be able to like really do a good job of taking Shakespeare and just being like, so like, you know, Othello's like, hey, you know, I got this guy on my back, I got my wife, you know, like I used to be able to explain it in just regular dude speak. So I would just talk to ghosts like, hey guys, what's going on? What's popping?
Uh,
That would be me.
so this is what I would do. This is my real answer. I would find a doll that you have on those pull strings that they would talk, and then sit down, ask a question, and pull it, and the answers would come from the doll. Super creepy. Great visuals. Impractical to carry around. I'd have to have like a doctor bag with a doll in it. So if you ever get pulled over, big problem.
I'm never doing a seance with you. Oh man, I guess you could do a speaking spell.
Speaking, yeah, that's a good one.
I would just, and it's when the demon, the evil demon takes like possession of me in the circle. Hey y'all, you're in a lot of trouble. I'm just gonna really hurt you guys. Like I'm gonna put you in a whooping. And like, and then the demon's like, I didn't say that. Like I'm interpreting. Hey, so yeah, she's pretty mad right now, and I'm gonna give her a second. Yeah, no, you need a second. You're really like getting worked up here. I know you're a malignant spirit, but just chill. Like, what do you guys want for dinner? Then like that's how I would do my seances.
Is it a knife?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Do you have a knife? She said you have a knife.
Can I borrow it?
Are we cooking?
I have another question for you, and this is more related to this film, and not related, but more like individual scenes. There are a lot of jump scares in here. Okay, I didn't get caught by hardly any of them. Which are the ones that really got you?
When the mom yells and points at Elise. Okay. Just the whole vibe, man. Like just this movie gets me. But whenever the mom's on screen and she's like, and then Elise blows away, and just also too when like just Patrick Wilson pops up with this creepy smile. That one sat really weird with me. And but yeah, for like. This one has tension all the way through. There's very little release in this film. It feels like a pressure cooker to me. But yeah, all the stuff with the mom freaked me out. Like, and when the dude grabs the little kid in the hospital room.
Oh yikes. Yeah.
And the tin can scene.
Tin can scene's good. It's a really smart scene.
To not show how tall Ty Simpkins is.
Because when I was watching that, I was like, if this kid goes and follows the string, I'm gonna lose my mind. What a dumb decision. And he yanked it out, and I was like, okay, right, he's smart. The jump scene that got me was the weird old man in the further standing right next to Josh, and how they dropped him in. Super creepy. That was the one jump scare that really got me. And then one that made me feel uneasy, and it's a blink and you miss it scene, is when Rose Brand is walking through the house and the mother is in the far right corner, and like you have to see her through a door. Like you could miss it in a second. Because I saw that, I was like, "Ooh, this is real creepy."
do you know why Juan added those in there? Because he's like, if you go to the movie with 4 of your friends, only probably one of them's going to see it, and they're like, "Whoa!" And then everyone's like, "What'd you see? What'd you see?" And then everyone's on guard looking for that again to like keep you in the movie and having fun. So it's so smart again that he does that. Like blink and you'll miss it. Background ladies.
All right,
and Jenna Ortega's in this movie.
What?
Yeah, she's the little bugger at the end.
Wow, did not put that together.
She's been kicking it around for a long time.
She loves horror.
Yeah,
great horror.
Do you want to do our draft?
I absolutely do. Do you want to tell everyone what it is?
So we're going to do cool ghosts in movies. So Elise is just the best ghost in this film because she's just cool and you want to be friends with her. So these aren't evil demons. These are ones that you'd actually want to chill with.
You want to hang out with. You want to go to the ball game with.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, I like you. Like, let's hang out. So I'll let you have first pick.
Okay. So I'm going to pick one that's probably not like the highest up on the list, but it's one that's special to me. So I'm going to take Cyrus from The Frighteners.
Oh, yeah. I have Cyrus in my picks, too.
Yeah, him. I like Cyrus, yes. And so here's the thing about that. That movie has influenced my writing greatly. Like it's sort of a tone that I kind of aim for, and I really, really love it. And I feel like when it came out, it was like no one got it, and it feels like it's had a renaissance in the last like 10 years. So Frighteners, Cyrus is my number one.
I love that movie. I bought a ticket first. I forget. No, I think I walked up to some couple this a long time ago, and I asked them to get me a ticket because they were going to it. So they bought me a ticket as well, and I gave them money. So I went and watched The Frighteners when I was like 14. It was awesome. That would have, and the poster's great.
Yeah, and of all the movies you could have asked someone to go let you in see, like it's really not a bad. Like,
No,
it's fine.
man, Jake Busey's horrifying in that movie in a good way. Like just
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna take the ghost of Dick Halloran from Doctor Sleep because he trains Danny how to conquer his demons and trap ghosts. So I want a ghost that helps me with things.
Please go do this for me.
Yeah, like, hey Dick, like I have the Shining and I'm going through some stuff. Like, yeah, man, I'll help you. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Like I want
All
a
right.
helpful ghost.
I'm gonna take for my second pick Dennis Rafkin from 13 Ghosts.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think that once he's chilled out and is not getting manipulated, he could be a good hang, right?
no, that's a great pick. Dennis Rathkin. Yeah, I thought about that movie as well.
Yeah, he's for everyone who's not familiar, he's Matthew Lillard's character.
Yeah. Oh man. And once he becomes a ghost.
Yeah, he's cool when he's a ghost. Like when he's a person, he's like high strung.
No, I love that. Get get Ghost Matthew Lillard just kicking it with me. I'll take
Pretty
that.
cool. Pretty cool.
All right, this one's really random, but like, let's say you're in your 20s and you move into an apartment and you just randomly have the ghost of Reese Witherspoon playing a woman named Elizabeth from Just Like Heaven in your apartment.
They don't make movies like they used to.
And you're just like, you walk into your apartment and you're like, obviously it's not Reese Witherspoon, but like someone who looks exactly like her is haunting your house. I'm like, this is an interesting thing. Like, I know she like kind of wreaks havoc on his life, but that'd just be a really interesting story that like you just pop up and like Reese Witherspoon becomes your roommate.
Yeah, I know of that movie. I have not seen it.
Oh, it's bad.
Is it bad? Oh,
No, it's not, well, it's like it's not bad, but it's just it's like so rom-commy. But I just imagine that, David, like your roommate is Reese Witherspoon ghost who doesn't like want you there, and you just have like an odd couple vibe,
it's so weird.
and you have like
Get out.
so that. But I just think she's not terrible, so I would pick that.
Okay, I'm gonna take another oddball one. I'm gonna take Antoine from The Sixth Man. Are you? And here's the thing with it.
Wait, but he's selfish though.
But he helps them win.
Without like he doesn't show up. Remember, he starts hurting people.
Does he?
Yeah.
I had a really good time with this when I saw it in the theater with all my friends when I was like 11. So I don't really fully remember it other than I thought it was a good movie when I was tiny.
I wrote about it for the Ringer and I watched it again. And like, he's like the star brother and Marlon Wayans is the not cool brother. And then he dies, but then he comes back and like takes over the team as a ghost and starts being selfish again.
Oh no.
People injured, but still he's not trying to murder you. So yeah, I would take Antoine because you could play ball with him. He would help you at sports.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Like, hey, you want to go play ball and like help me win?
Do you want to help me cheat?
And he does that. Like, you could go on American Ninja Warrior and just have him like fly with you and like help you out. Like, so he's like holding your feet while you are going across the salmon ladder. It's like you're really horribly out of shape, but he just carries you through it.
That would be amazing, actually.
Yes. Okay. I just sold myself. That's amazing. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take the ghost of Abraham Lincoln from Black Dynamite because in that film, Black Dynamite's losing to Richard Nixon. And Abraham Lincoln comes out, knows Kung Fu, and helps Black Dynamite. He disarms Nixon with Kung Fu.
I've never seen that movie. Wow.
I want Abraham Lincoln's ghost from Black Dynamite.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So the next one's a big hitter. And I want to know if you want to split this couple. I'm going to do Barbara from Beetlejuice, who I think is the wife.
Yeah, Gina Davis.
Yeah, I'm going to take her. Yep. But it's a package deal. So like if you want the husband, you can do that too.
I mean, they're chill in that movie. They get it figured out. I wouldn't mind them. I don't know if I'd want them in my attic.
I mean, I want Barbara. Not so sure about her husband.
Yeah. I mean, I like it though. Everyone needs a Gina Davis ghost in their attic.
Fighting with Reese Witherspoon.
All right. I'm going to take Zero from The Nightmare Before Christmas so I can have a ghost dog.
Oh, that's a great one. I didn't even think about that.
So I don't have to feed it. I don't have to do really anything. It's just a cute ghost dog in my house.
So there's other heavy hitters here that we've skipped over. And I'm wondering if, I'm going to go for it. I think Sam Wheat from Ghost would be a chill hang.
Oh, yeah. Patrick Swayze?
Yeah. Like
any Swayze ghost would be relaxed.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
He'd be awesome. I'd love to hang out with him.
So your final pick.
Okay, so I was gonna say No Face from Spirited Away. I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna say Chubbs from Happy Gilmore, but I think he was more of an angel. So I'm gonna take Dr. Malcolm Crowe from The Sixth Sense because of this reason. If I need therapy from him, you can't like a ghost can't charge you money. You know, it's like it's free therapy. Like
That's a wild reason.
like oh man, I'm feeling a little off today. Like hey Dr. Malcolm, do the flick, meet with him every week. Like hey, who's your psychiatrist? Hey, he's just a ghost. Like
He hangs out
I don't pay
in the
him.
basement.
Like we just chat and like he thinks he's alive, but whatever.
Yeah.
He sees what he wants to see and we just chat and he's helped me a lot.
Do you want to drop this down to 5?
Yeah,
our
let's do it.
super 5. I'm gonna make a pitch for Ghost Dog Zero. I think he absolutely has to be on the list.
Oh, I love that. And I mean, listen, we got to do Cyrus and Stewart because they're just good people.
Great,
and they're
great.
a package deal, so that's one.
What do you think about Patrick Swayze?
I kind of want to see what Antoine does. I want him to help me at sports.
Okay, it is a great scenario, so let's throw him on there.
Okay, so all right, so we also have. I mean, do we want Reese Witherspoon? I don't really need Abraham Lincoln because I don't fight Nixon a lot. Dick Halloran. If I'm in that situation, I don't know if I want to have like that means we're in a bad situation if we have Dick Halloran around because that means Shining. So we don't want that.
But if you have Reese Witherspoon, there's a chance that her and Sam Wheat try to have ghost hookup. So I don't know about that. Let's do that. Okay.
Because then they can just leave us and then we can have a nice relationship.
Okay. So we have Sam from Ghost, Reese Witherspoon, Cyrus from Cyrus, Zero, and Anton.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good list.
Yeah, that's because we have a nice ghost dog. We don't have to worry about it getting sick or getting hit by anything. And just we don't have to feed it and doesn't poop. It's like the perfect dog. Then we have Stuart and Cyrus who will help us with our jobs. They would actually help us just as much as Antoine would, but having like a collegiate basketball player around is never a bad thing. And then Sam Wheat and Reese Witherspoon.
And I would say Rip the Casper, who did not make our list. I don't want a kid around.
Nah, me neither. No thanks. Give me a Swayze.
All right, Mark, this was a lot of fun.
Ghosty, ghosty, ghosty. You're always calling me ghosty, ghosty. Wait, is that it? Like, remember in Walk the Line, she's like, baby, baby, baby. And then she's like, ghost. Never mind. I'm just trying to do a Walk the Line quote and it didn't work. But this was awesome, David. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, so am I. This is great. And I'm excited to come back for number 3, where we take a detour into Lisa's life.
Hey, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's me, David Cross. And I'm across basically every platform like that, but Twitter's where I hang out. I'm gonna pitch something here. I have a book coming out on November 12th. It's part of Split Scream Volume 6, which is an anthology. You can find that at Tenebris Press, and I go by the pen name David Corse, Corse.
Oh,
go buy my book. It's really creepy. It's not for kids.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me, David. All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for David Cross, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.